George. Paul George came to the Thunder in the last couple of days and asked to be traded to the Clippers. He wanted to play with Kawhi Leonard.
Every few years, an NBA team shocks the league, flipping the script and defying expectations. This season, the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing just that. This young, scrappy team has gone from rebuild mode to serious contenders. And it's not just hype, the stats are backing it up. But even more so, their energy on the court is rewriting the rules. Let's start with defense. The foundation of any championship caliber team. When you think of top defensive teams, OKC might not be the first team that comes to mind, but maybe it should be. They're posting a defensive rating of 90.4, the best in the league. It's like we're back in the 80s or something. Think about that. This means they're holding teams to the fewest points per possession, disrupting any rhythm and forcing turnovers that leads to quick offense. And we're not talking about a couple of games. This has been consistent from the beginning of the season. And here's why that matters. Of the last 25 NBA champions, 22 ranked in the top 10 in defense. The few exceptions were the 2018 Warriors, who were 11th, and the 2001 Lakers, way down at 22nd. Defense wins championships, and the Thunder are showing they can dominate on this end. They're averaging a league-best 12.3 steals and 10 blocks per game. They're constantly stripping the ball from opponent, denying shot attempts, and making their opponents work for every bucket. But it's not just the numbers. It's how these players communicate, switch, and close out on shooters. They're playing with a veteran level of cohesion, which you rarely see from a young squad like that. And it's not like their offensive game is lagging. The Thunder are putting up a solid 115 points per game. They've figured out how to maintain balanced offense that's both potent and efficient. These guys are disciplined, averaging only 10.7 turnovers per game, which ranks 6th in the league. Fewer turnovers means more scoring chances and keeping the momentum on their side. What's fascinating here is they're not relying on one superstar to carry the load. Instead, they're spreading the floor, passing effectively, and creating high-quality shots. And while we're talking about high quality, we can simply not talk about the Thunder without mentioning the blockbuster trades that started their transformation.
They traded for Paul George tonight, and they are sending to Oklahoma City essentially a record collection of draft picks.
The Thunder made two monumental moves. Number one was trading Russell Westbrook to Houston, and number two was sending Paul George to the Clippers. These deals fundamentally reshaped the franchise's future. The Paul George trade, the infamous Paul George trade. In July 2019, the Thunder traded Paul George to the Los Angeles Clippers, a move that sent shockwaves through the league. In return, Oklahoma City received Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, 5 first-round draft picks, which have been instrumental for the Thunder. The 2022 pick turned out to be J-Dubs, and an additional 2 first-round pick swaps, giving the Thunder additional draft flexibility. The Clippers basically sold their soul to make Kawhi happy. The Russell Westbrook trade. Shortly after the George deal, the Thunder moved their longtime star Russell Westbrook to the Houston Rockets. In exchange, they acquired Chris Paul, a veteran point guard who led the Thunder to a surprising playoff appearance in the 2019-2020 season, and helped mentor younger players. An additional 2 first-round draft picks, further strengthening OKC's stockpile of assets. Paul's time in OKC was short-lived but crucial. If you think about it, he basically helped bridge the team from one era to the next, while installing a winning culture for the younger players. In hindsight, these moves now look rough for the Clippers and stand as another reminder of the importance of knowing when to hit the reset button. The Thunder front office could have easily kept pushing with the Westbrook-George roster, maybe squeezing out a few playoff runs, but realistically, they were unlikely to make it past the second round. Instead, Sam Presti made the bold call to maximize value while Westbrook and George were still highly marketable assets, and the return was incredible. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, man, what can I say? The guy has been an absolute machine. He's averaging 28.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 6.3 assists per game. Shai isn't just scoring, he's taking on a leadership role, stepping up as both a playmaker and a rebounder. You can tell he's committed to leading this team through example. And then you have Chet Holmgren. I love it how both the Magic and OKC Thunder kind of got the player they needed in this draft. Man, this sophomore isn't really playing like a sophomore, he's a finished product. He's boasting insane numbers, 23.7 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks per game. His shot blocking ability is giving OKC that much needed rim protection, making it tough for opponents to score inside. And he's putting up efficient numbers on offense too. These two are playing with a chemistry that is rare, especially for such a young team. They're reading each other's moves, setting each other up, and giving defenses nightmares. Together, they're turning OKC into a force that is tough to ignore. Another big sign of a strong team is control of the boards, and OKC has been delivering there as well. They're averaging 49.3 rebounds per game, ranking 4th in the league. Rebounding isn't just about grabbing the ball, it's about limiting the opponent's second chances, controlling the pace, and transitioning to offense. When the Thunder are rebounding well, they're fast breaking and turning defense into offense and into easy points. It's relentless pace that wears down opponents and keeps them on the back foot. The tempo of the OKC right now is just super tough for the rest of the league to match. So we talked about the stars. Of course, we also should be mentioning J-Dubs, who's a huge piece of that. But we also should not ignore one of the biggest factors in championship teams, and it is depth. And OKC bench is stepping up big time. Take Aaron Wiggins, for instance. The guy is coming off the bench and shooting 70% from the field. He's averaging 10.7 points per game, providing reliable scoring that keeps OKC competitive even when their starters sit. Don't even get me started about Isaiah Joe. The guy's a freaking sniper. No Isaiah Hartenstein? No problem. We got the other Jalen Williams. He can supply some paint defense. He can block some shots. Man, this kind of bench production is huge because it lets the starters rest and keep the team fresh. It's like every player on their roster has embraced their role, and that's what championships teams do. The team chemistry. OKC isn't just playing as a group of individuals, they're playing as one unit. With 23.3 assists per game, their ball movement ranked around the middle of the league. When you actually watch them play, you can see they're sharing the ball with purpose. Each player seems to know their place, and that kind of chemistry doesn't happen overnight. It definitely looks like there is no ego in the team and everybody's just playing to win. When you have a bunch of young and feisty players buying into the system, playing unselfish basketball and hustling for each other, it creates a culture of winning. And right now, that's exactly what the Thunder are building. Look, we're only a few games into the season, but OKC is showing us something special. This isn't just a lucky streak or a good start. They're dominating statistically, bringing it on both ends of the floor, and right now they're looking as a favorite to make it to the finals. Whether this young squad can keep it up and make a deep playoff run remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, they're the real deal right now and they're here to stay. Is this the beginning of a dynasty? I guess we'll have to wait and see. So what do you guys think? Are the Thunder legit contenders this season, or is this just a hot streak? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA content. Let's keep this conversation going. That is all for today, and as always, until the next time.